All right, let's go. All right, comeback champions, here we go. I'm Shifa Ali, and I am here to be your guide on the pathway to the dimensions, yes, dimensions to a successful comeback. All right, now we know we are comeback champions, right? That's who we are. And what I know about you is that the key to your comeback is inside of you. Okay. Now, what is a comeback? I'm going to give you the 13. Yeah, 13. I know it sounds like a lot. We're not going to get through all that today. What we are going to do today, you're going to be sure that you have a map and somebody who can guide you along the way. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to grab my trusty phone. You know, we don't do anything without our phones these days. And we're going to talk about this dimension, okay, of a successful comeback. I already know you have your pen and your pad and you're ready to take copious notes, all right? I am 65 years old, in case anybody wanted to know, and I've been on the path for a minute. So it's important that I tell you that, because if you're going to have a guide, you have to know that the person that is talking to you kind of like knows the terrain. It's if you have, back in the day, they had like Indian guides, right? And the Indian guide knew all the footprints of the predators and the animals, and could listen to the birds, right? And knew everything, right? Could tell what the weather was going to be, okay? I'm that person. I'm that person for you. Let's dig in. Let's dig in. We're talking about dimensions of a successful comeback. Now, I already mentioned that you are holding the key. You're holding the key. You may not know you're holding the key, and it may not seem like you're holding the key, and your conditions and your circumstances and all the things that's going on that make it that you need a comeback may not be pointing to you to tell you that you have the key. But I'm here to tell you. So here's what I know about you, is that within your consciousness, within all of our consciousness, okay, within all of our consciousness is the inner champion that is holding the secret key. Now, why is it a secret? Well, if it wasn't a secret, you would already know, right? But it is a secret key. And what does that secret key do? Well, the champion is the keeper of the secret key that opens the way to the path. That opens the way to the path. So what I've just done is tell you that you hold the key, and that it is a secret key, and your inner self, your consciousness, is opening the way, right? Which is a pathway, right? Because you got to get to the place where you actually use this key, and you're knowing, you're being conscious now of that. All right. So we're already getting some success here because you're already conscious of that now. Now we go on the pathway. Now we start to actually do the work, right? Because you knew there was some work involved, right? Of course. What is the work? Well, we've got to get through the veil. Well, what's the veil, Shifa? Well, the veil is whatever that curtain was that dropped over you and caused you to step back. Now that you are in the position that you need a comeback, a come up, okay? There was a veil dropped there. We got to get through that veil. And we have to become conscious of what that veil is and coherent enough to see it, right? Because it tends to be kind of glary and smoky and blurry, and we don't really even know that the veil exists. But I'm here to tell you that there's a veil. Now, if you just take a moment and think about that, you would say, oh yeah, there must be something holding me back. It's not a wall. Let me tell you that. It's not a wall. It's not so thick and dense that you can't get through it. As a matter of fact, your inner champion that has the secret key that is going to be used when we get through the path, right? As we walk on this pathway, already knows that it's just a slight film and we can just walk right through it. All right. So I want to assure you that even though it's work, it's about being conscious and coherent about what's around you, right? Consistently, and it's going to take some intensity. So let's keep moving through the path. Now, the champion that is within you, that you are, comeback champion, that is within you knows no limit. None. Period. No limit. Okay? Well, what does that mean? That means that you're limitless, you're boundless. And for some reason, when that veil dropped, you forgot that. It's like a memory virus or something, and you forgot who you are, right? And I'm here to remind you and guide you along this path, all right? So now that we are aware of our unlimitless self, right, that is really inside, let's talk about what the path really is. What is this path? Well, it starts with your vocabulary. So I know you're thinking about like path with trees and birds and tweet, 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 and we're walking through, right? And that's a great image to have, but this is an internal process, right? So it first starts with your vocabulary. What is the vocabulary of a champion, especially a comeback champion? What's our vocabulary? What's our vocabulary? It's simple. It's one word, right? It's dealing with one word. Our vocabulary eliminates the word can't. Now, I know we tell little children that all the time, we don't use the word can't, but it is important, imperative that we are conscious and coherent every time an idea that even seems like it's going to put a limitation on us, i.e. can't, right? Anything that does that, we got to be conscious of that and push through the veil. Push through the veil. All right. That's part of it. All right. So that is one instance. Now, I said that this is the dimensions of the comeback champion, right? So, well, what are dimensions? Well, there are things that are happening that are present that you're not necessarily aware of, right? So we know about 3D and 4D, right? And well, we know 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D of the heart, right? And so I'm going to talk to you about it in terms of your life. All of your life is different dimensions in 13 dimensions. I'm not going to go through all 13, but the first one is a natural mind. And in the championship vocabulary of your natural mind, the word can't does not exist. Does not exist. All right? So that was a big chunk right there, but you got it. I already know you got it because you're a champion, right? You already know you got it because you're a champion. So since these dimensions, and we have this natural mind, and then we have what's number 2, the spirituality. And I'm not going through all 13, but I'm on a guide. I'm guiding you on this path right here, right? And so your inner champion is your mighty presence, right? Your mighty I am a comeback champion presence, okay, that lives within you. And that is a spiritual concept, right? It's the inner realm. It's the inner realm. So I know y'all tracking with me. I know you're tracking with me. And I hope you're taking notes, right? So what's the next thing? Well, we have the inclination on this path. We have the inclination to begin to recognize, because we're conscious now, we're coherent, we begin to recognize that there are things that want to continue to hold us back. So let me tell you a little story about me and what makes me a comeback champion, okay? A successful comeback champion. The short story, had left my family. I was in New Jersey, left my family, went to live in New York. That's a whole nother story about how all that happened, when divorce and children and all those kinds of things, those become what we call like the setbacks, right? That's the drawbacks that makes a comeback necessary, all right? So here I am now, and I grew up like upper middle class, white picket fence. We all had a really nice neighborhood and all that kind of stuff, right? Never knew poverty in my life. When I left and moved to New York, I moved to the boogie down Bronx, okay? For Apache, by the way, okay? So what happened? I started to face all these things in the jungle, right? Right? I'm in the concrete jungle now, right? And I had left the family and the lifestyle that I needed, found myself one day, fast forward, found myself one day crouched down behind the chair, trying to talk myself out of, and I'm glad I was successful, talk myself out of jumping out of the 21st floor window of this apartment building that I lived in because I was so depressed.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream.
Found myself one day, fast forward, found myself one day crouched down behind the chair, trying to talk myself out of, and I'm glad I was successful, talk myself out of jumping out of the 21st floor window of this apartment building that I lived in because I was so depressed. I was so depressed. So that's a long way to come back from. There's a pathway. There's a key that you have inside of you that as we're having this conversation is right now in your hands. Right now in your hands. So let's talk about how it is. How did I get from there? Now, that might not be your experience, but you have an experience. Or you wouldn't be in need of a comeback. Come on, y'all. You wouldn't be in need of a comeback if you didn't have an experience that you had to come back from. So just think about your life. What is it? Become conscious. Let it become coherent because it's part of that veil. It's part of that veil, right? And as you become conscious and coherent, now this sense of intensity kicks in, right? Because that's intense, right? I was standing at the window, big window, right? 21 stories down, wanting to do that, some part of me that was not my champion, okay? Where in your life do you have a situation where you just wanted to like throw in the towel, right? Just quit. Just quit. When in your life were you saddled with worry and doubt, okay, and fear? Well, let me tell you right now that comeback champions, successful comeback champions, are not warriors. We are warriors. Okay? We warriors. All right? We are warriors. We are not warriors. Okay? So again, here we go with that consciousness. We got to keep it coherent, right? Coherent. If you're not sure what that word means, I challenge you to look it up. Coherent. Conscious, coherent, and then consistent. Consistent with what? Consistent with making sure you're moving in your limitlessness, right? No such thing as the word can't in our vocabulary. Making sure that you're not worried about stuff because we're not warriors, we are warriors. And also being clear that as you get rid of this memory virus that is clamping you down inside and not allowing your champion to emerge, Okay? Keep in mind that we're not having that no more. It's really quite that simple. We just ain't having it no more. Done. All right? So, how do we use the key? Once we have, now we on the path, right? That's the path, right? Going through all that stuff and the memory virus and remembering who it is that we are. And also, let me tell you something about your memory. You tend to always remember the bad stuff. I challenge you to make a list of all the good, amazing, powerful, gracious, bodacious stuff that ever happened to you in your life, okay? That make you smile, give you joy. Because here's what happens on the path. We have a tendency to swing, we either got great joy or we got great depression. We got great joy or we got great depression, okay? You feel that? We got great joy or we got great depression, all right? So we got to get to the middle way. The path is the middle pathway. That in every dimension of your life, you get to be on the path in the middle. So it's not anything that can happen that gets you so overjoyed that when it don't go like you thought it was going to go, that it brings you all the way down to no joy. Okay? To depression. Okay? To want to take my life. To all of that. It's like a pendulum on the inside, right? It's the inner job, right? We're talking about the power of your inner champion, okay? So it's like a clock or a pendulum, and it's the middle path. That's the pathway I'm taking you down. That is the pathway that we're going. Now, what's on the pathway? The key. You got the secret key now, okay? As you continue to work with me, you will have that key, and I will help you get to that place where we not only have the key in your hand, right? And I'm standing right there and you got the key in your hand. I'm here to help. And all you're going to do is you're going to put that secret key in the lock, and we're going to hear, when you turn it, we're going to hear the bolt go back. Right? Yeah, you're going to hear it. And there's a feeling that goes with that because your inner champion, your comeback champion, is just waiting there for you. Okay? To acknowledge, to become conscious, to become coherent, and then to consistently push that door open. And if you need some help pushing that door open, and you probably will, because I needed some help pushing my doors open, I'm here to help you do that. I'm the guide. I'm the one on the path. Okay? With you. Together we do this. And we push through. We push through. And we get to those 13 dimensions, which include the parenting, which include the family, which include the loving relationships, right? We talked about the natural mind and your spirit being, your health and your fitness. And the one that everybody in this day and time is dealing with is really two. You have conversations with people, they either sick or they broke, or they broke or they sick. Okay? Or they scared to be sick because we got this, right? With the mask thing, right? So we scared to be sick. They scared to be sick. And they scared to go broke. 95% of the people are more afraid of growing old and running out of money than they are dying. That's huge. So now with this key, we get past all of that. We get past all of that. And so what do we do now that we have the key? You hold the key. You hold the key. So you turn the key, we could feel it when the bolt turned back. We could hear it go click. All right? The door, we push the door open. And what happened next is that your inner champion, your comeback champion, is right there within you. And you take your stand as the warrior in your life in all 13 dimensions. And so I help you now get through those 13 dimensions with intensity. That's my calling. I'm here as a guide to help, to lead, to guide, to teach us how to get through this maze, this pathway, okay, that tends to make us want to sway. We don't know, like, right? We lukewarm. No, 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 no. As a comeback champion, you already know you got this. What is it? Is it your business? Is it your children? Is it your family? Is it your relationships? Is it your character reflection? Is it your finances, right? And so when we're dealing with your health and your finances, right, those two conversations, one of the first things I start with where most people find themselves is they need some healthy finances. They need some healthy finances. So we start there if that's where you need to start. And I already know everybody ain't broke, okay? But what I do know, having been a financial professional for over 20 years, is that people are living right up to their level of income. And no matter how big the check is, many people still living check to check. And in these times, it's worse than that. Millions of people unemployed. So I'm the guide. I'm the one. Let me help you get through. Here's how you get in contact with me. You text Comeback Champion, country code +1 614 610 1122. Now, for those of you that want the free gift, text Comeback Champion to +1 614 610 1122. My email is SHIFA, SHIFA.oneness@gmail.com. I love you. Peace and love.
If it had not been for the Negro League, you wouldn't have had as many black baseball players as you have now.
There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
I've been fortunate and lucky in some ways. I would just like to be remembered as someone that said God gave him the talent to play this game, and he did everything humanly possible to make the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Welcome to Forex Live with your very own, the Bitcoin Queen. Today, my very special guest is my friend and mentor, Ms. RJ She-Fed Money Maven. And what we're going to discuss today is a little bit about how Forex, what Forex is, and how you got started in it. And so we'll just talk about some of those things. I have some questions for you. Is that all right with you?
That's great, yes.
Awesome. So let's just jump right in it. So my very first question to you is, what made you decide to look at the Forex platform?
I wasn't even aware there was such a thing.
Okay.
And quite honestly, I had a prayer out for God to show me the money. And a friend of ours called and does what he do. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I'll look. And it's the kind of thing where sometimes you have relationship with people, and if they say, we doing this now, we doing this now.
Right.
Okay. And so it was really like that.
Okay.
And so I got on board. Happy to find out that you were already here. I was like, okay. I'm late to the party. of my own choice, right?
Okay.
And once I looked at it, I saw that the prayer was answered. All the money in the world is in the Forex market. Like really all the currency trading in the world. And when that clicked for me, I was like, okay, prayer answered. What's next? What do I need to do next? So I was in from that moment.
Okay.
Once I realized where I was situated, how I'd been positioned.
Okay, and for the viewers who don't know, Forex actually stands for the foreign exchange market. And what that means is that we trade currencies. So we trade things like the US dollar against the Japanese yen, the Australian dollar against the US dollar, the Swiss franc against the US dollar. We actually trade things like the indices, which is US 30, the NAS 100, the S&D, the SDX. And also one of the very hot commodities that we're going to be talking about today is Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies. So my next question for you, people wait because they're apprehensive about, is this really something that I want to do? I don't know if I really want to put my money into this avenue. Am I really going to make money in it? So when we talk about the foreign exchange market, of course there are some risks that are taken, correct?
Certainly.
So, and you said one thing that I really, really liked about a portable skill set. What do you mean? Tell the audience what you think about what portable is.
The educational platform with this portable skill set that they've given us means that whether I'm home in my bathrobe and my furry slippers, or I'm at the beach or at the mountains or in the parking lot, right? It doesn't really matter. I'm on lunch break,
Okay.
right? I can trade anywhere. And what makes it benefit our whole life, it's like riding a bicycle. Once you have it, you never forget it. And it's just an amazing thing. And after 2-3 weeks inside the education, you really begin to feel like I can do this. I can do this. And it takes away the fear of loss because you actually begin to have an understanding about it, and that you can do it anywhere is very powerful for me.
Okay. Very good. I like the portable skill set. So for instance, if I decided that I wanted to go, let's say to Aruba on vacation, and I'm there and I have some free time and I want to trade. So you mean to tell me I can just take my laptop or my computer or my phone and
As long as you have internet,
Okay.
you can trade, and
Nice.
it's international because we're talking about we're trading foreign currencies, which means it's the global market that we actually enter in, and because it's internationally based, not only can you trade anywhere, you can pretty much trade anytime. So time zone to time zone, you know, so it broadens even the concept of what portable means. You know, it's like you can take it here and take it there,
Right.
but even across time zones.
So as I think about the foreign exchange market, that means that I can trade New York session. I could trade Asian session, which is in the afternoon, and I can trade London session, which is early morning, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
So I know one of our educators talks about when her baby was young, she traded to 2 a.m. because she was up with the baby at 2 a.m.
Okay.
And but now that the child is older, she don't do 2 a.m. anymore. She's up for the 8 a.m.
Right.
Right. So personally, I like I trade the New York session.
Okay.
I can be up at 7 to get prepared for the market, and be ready to take my trades, be ready to see the setups and take my trades, get my education.
Okay.
And it's just wonderful being able to learn from these educators who, 6, 7, and 8 figure,
Wow.
right? If you were looking for a mentor, right, to be wealthy, you look for a wealthy mentor, right? And so we have
Absolutely.
like 15 of them that teach us on this platform. So at 7 a.m., I get to be up with a 8-figure earner teaching me how to do what they do to get where they are.
Right.
That's real.
Definitely, I agree. I would agree. I think the next question that I want to ask you in regards to Forex, I know that there are a lot of people out there looking for supplemental income. There are a lot of people who actually are fed up with their jobs and they want to be in a position where they can leave. Does Forex allow you that opportunity, in your opinion, to be able to A, have supplemental income, and B, once you get to a point where your income can sustain you, that you can
transition? Yeah, sure. So based on your commitment level, right, your diligence in the study, certainly you can supplement your income. Forex is an excellent option because, yes, to answer your question, can it provide supplemental income? Absolutely, absolutely. And does it have the capacity to create an income that can replace your current job, career, especially if you're fed up? If you go someplace every day and you're not happy, you need to look at doing something different. And so, yes, it can replace your career, your job, salary in a short amount of time if you are diligent and you are disciplined, right? If you are diligent and disciplined and patient with yourself mainly, right? Patient with yourself mainly, because it will get frustrating at times. It's something new. And anytime you learn something new, it can be a little frustrating sometimes, but Epic is such a fun platform that it takes the edge off. And we have incredible mentors and communication spaces where you can vent if you need to and just get right back to it. But you can absolutely change your lifestyle with the income that's available here in trading Forex.
I like the fact that you talked about patience. I think one of the things that happens to a lot of us when you're like you said, when you're learning something new, it is that point of being apprehensive. It is that I need to learn it right now. I have to have it because we live in that microwave society, correct? So patience in regards to learning this skill set that you can, once you learn it, is yours. No one can take it from you. So speak just a little bit more about the patience in what it means in regards to Forex.
Certainly. This is not a get rich quick thing. Okay. Right. It's not one of them. It ain't one of them things, y'all. Okay. So it's like when you go to university, you go for 4 years, 6 years, 12 years, depending on whatever your career choice is. And you're not making any money. You're paying money. And you're patient enough to take the time that's required to study, to be where you need to be when you need to be there, okay, and hope that you're going to find a job when you get that piece of paper, okay? So let's look at patience from that point of view. Okay. Now you have a skill set with a syllabus that could get you up in trading in 2 weeks. Wow. Now you're not going to be a master trader, okay? But you're going to know a little something about how it works now. You have a deeper understanding of it. And because it is new, you get to apply the same kind of patience that you have when you go to university to learn that career path. Apply it to Forex. The patience is more so with yourself. It's with yourself, because if you come to the table needy, and many people are, right? Many people are. We need to make the rent this month. Correct. Okay. So that's not necessarily going to happen. Could it? Yes. But after you learn the skill set, you can get the rent every month. You can get the rent and more. So an extra $500, an extra $1,000 a month can absolutely change your life. And that is available here if you can be patient. Make sure it took me almost a month to get through a 2-week syllabus. It is a 2-week syllabus, though. Okay. So I had to be patient with myself so that I didn't beat up myself because I wasn't finished in 2 weeks. Right? I wasn't making money in 2 weeks. Okay. And it's necessary to just be kind and gracious with yourself, and that's really what patience is.
Okay. And I like that because, you go and let's say you graduate from the university, whichever university it is, you have to now interview, or sometimes you have to take an intern. You get the job and you still have 90 days before. That's like they call it that your 90-day grace period before they even say, okay, yes, we're going to offer you the job, or no, you're not really a good fit for this.
You're on probation,
right? Right. So when we think about Forex, if you can be that diligent for 90 days, surely you can be that diligent with yourself for 90 days. What happens a lot of times, though, as a society, as a people, we say, oh, but I know that I'm going to get a paycheck every single week, or every 2 weeks, or once a month, or whatever the case may be. When you're talking about Forex, it is a huge learning curve, right?
Yes.
There's terminology that you have to learn. There's what they call stop losses and take profits. There's all
and pips,
right? There is a whole language that needs to be learned. So I like the fact that you're talking about the patience, and so that the people, the audience, can understand that yes, you have to give yourself some time. You're not going to just get into this arena, this financial arena, which is what it is, and say, okay, here I am, and now give me my $1 million because I showed up, correct?
Right. That's correct. That's correct. And so you can get trapped with the golden handcuffs, right? The paycheck every Friday or whenever it comes, right? Correct. So some people get paid once a month. But if that is what is your security, what you think is your security, and you have these, what I like to call the golden handcuffs, is that you are selling your life for dollars. Okay. And so is that really something that you want to do? Think about it in that way and look at the results that come from that. So we're in a society right now where people have worked for 40 and 50 years on a job.
Correct.
Okay. And don't have enough money to retire on. All right. And so, and have been kind of scraping their way, right? Most people live 2.5 times above their income, right? When you buy a house, they base it on your gross,
okay,
not your net.
Okay.
Right. So they're basing your ability to pay this $1,000 note on the money that you make, not the money that you actually bring home. So when you think about it like that, and then look at your paycheck. Okay.
Okay.
So you're already in a hole. Doesn't it make sense to do something even on the as a periphery, on the periphery? Why are you still working your job? To just see if you can match your salary, so that you can free yourself. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And since there are no more 40-year jobs, okay, there are hardly any jobs at all in the current climate, right? So we're having this conversation during the pandemic.
Correct.
Right? So in the current climate, you need to take a look at something else. And Forex can be, for the right people, that's something else. That's something else. So I hope I answered that question, because the golden handcuff piece is really deep, and people don't realize that they're psychologically trapped because somebody's going to feed them, and they don't know how to feed themselves.
Right. I like that. I think that you made a very interesting point when you're talking about the psychological part of it, because as you start the journey on Forex, a lot of that has to do with your psychology. You have to now go from being, I just do a 9 to 5, to I have the ability to take control of my own personal finances.
Yes.
And that's powerful.
Yes,
and I love one of the reasons why I joined and took a look at Forex is because it allows me that ability, because I know you're an entrepreneur, and I know that you've done many different ventures. So
So I'm a two-time millionaire.
Okay.
Okay.
Most people don't know that.
Yeah, most people don't know that. So I earned the right to be called the money maven.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So interesting, and you probably caught this already, right? I'm a two-time millionaire, and both times it got away from me. So I want to say to you that $1 million ain't that much. Okay, it really is not that much. What we need to be looking at is billions of dollars, billions and trillions of dollars that we come together and create collectively, okay, because what happened to my $1 million? The first time I left it with my children and their father,
Okay.
right, because I raised little millionaire kids, okay? So when it was time for me to make my exit, I left them with the money,
Okay.
okay, and moved to New York and made my second $1 million there. And then my parents got ill, and one was in North Carolina and the other was in South Carolina.
Wow.
I'm living in a condo, right? I leave everything, car, completely furnished condominium to go take care of my mom, was in the hospital. It was not a question or am I going,
Okay.
right? And this is the thing about being free. No one could tell me that you can't take off and go take care of your mom, right? The other part of it is that neither of my parents had medical insurance, long-term care,
Okay.
or any life insurance.
Wow.
There went my $1 million, okay? And I had promised them that I would not put them in what they called a nursing home back then, that is now assisted living, right?
Right.
So, which is very expensive. And so when you take your life in your own hands, you have the ability to make those kinds of decisions, right?
Okay.
And so do I regret any of it? No, I can say that sitting here with you today, right? But I was traumatized, okay?
Okay.
So when you talk about the psychology of it, you will build yourself up in Forex to be a true entrepreneur
Okay.
and understand what it is to make your own way in the world and have a no matter what attitude about it, because I made a decision I would never punch a clock again, no matter what. And as a result of that, I've lived in my car for a little bit,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But my business was still up and going, right? So I was able to eat every day. Do you have to go to that length? No, I'm talking about me, all right? And so I know I'm a category of one, all right? So I don't expect anybody to do what Qaeedah does. But my point that I am making is that you can make a lot of money here in Forex. So I'm on a three-peat, y'all.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
One of the educators, many of them, 6, 7, 8-figure earners, they say, we can get you to $1 million in 6 months. I'm in. Right, I'm in. Is that going to work for everybody? No. Are we making income claims? No. But I know for who it is that I am, I can do it with this vehicle.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. That is so beautiful.
A little bit about me.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Most people don't know that, and I'm so grateful that you did share.
Happy Healthy Healing Day. I'm Qaeedah, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, and I'm inviting you to watch the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show right here on Access 21. We air every first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. I tell you, you don't want to miss it. There's some juicy nuggets that you got to have for your life. There's some things that you need to know about your healthy finances, your parenting. I deal with it in 13 dimensions based on the time that we're living in right now. All right. I'm your girl, Qaeedah Ali. Tune in to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. See you there.
If you want to get a lot of people very angry at you, and you're in the health profession, it's fairly simple. Begin to cure incurable diseases.
It would ruin the economy. Billions of dollars. Cancer is one of the richest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world, and every cancer patient is a commodity.
The huge pharmaceutical companies have everybody in their pocket, from the president on down to the senators, representatives, everybody gets paid.
Something's terribly wrong when you treat cancer and your hair falls out and you vomit. This is truly medieval.
People in the United States and developed countries who are treated for cancer don't even die of cancer. They die of the treatment of cancer.
Many years from now, people look back at this time and wonder what kind of Neanderthals we were.
A prophet many years ago, he said, "My people perish for lack of knowledge."
One of the things that I do know about Forex from on a personal level is that it definitely develops the mind. You absolutely have to change the way you think about money in general, which we know that is fiat currency. There really is no money. As you can tell when they're talking about this stimulus check, and people are waiting on that. And one of the things that I like what they said is you get to create your own stimulus check.
That's right.
Right? And with that, what we're going to move into, what's the age limit that a person can start to learn this Forex? I know I have grandchildren. I know you have grandchildren.
Yes, teach it to the children.
Okay.
Teach it to the children. We live in well, here in the United States, because one of the other beautiful things about Epic and Forex is that we have friends now all over the world. All right, so we can't just talk about the United States, and so people in the UK, much love to you, Japan, everybody. In the islands, we have an island team,
Yay.
right? Yay. So teach your children, because so my point was that in the United States, you're only required to take one course in high school for personal finance. So there are PhDs that don't know how to balance their checkbook.
Okay.
So we're not taught the science of money, right? So finance is the science of money. And there are many avenues, and Forex is one of the most powerful avenues in the financial arena to be a part of. Now, I've been a licensed financial professional since 1998.
Okay.
Right? Nobody ever said anything to me about Forex. Right?
Right.
They just want you to I do whatever they say do. But I was looking for the money. Everybody gets up in the morning and goes to work looking for the money. And we always say, money's not everything. But you spend 80% of your time trying to get it. So there must be some validity to the fact that we're all looking for the money, and Forex is where the money is.
Yes.
It's where the money is.
Considering it's almost a $7 trillion, and I want people to be clear, a $7 trillion a day.
A day.
Not a week, not every so often, that's daily. So you can do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And when you talk about cryptocurrency, it doesn't sleep.
It doesn't sleep.
You can do crypto 7 days a week,
24/7.
Right. And it keeps moving and moving and moving and moving. And I also want to get back to the point where we're talking about teaching our children. I know that we have, so for instance, our grandson came and spent a week with us. And he was actually on the charts, looking over his grandfather's shoulder, learning about how to do Forex. The candlesticks, okay, it's green, it's red. And so it was something that he was able to pick up quite easily. And if you teach the children now, because we live here in the United States, when they get to 16 or 17, they can already have their stuff funded, because they can begin to learn off of what you do. They can have their own demo account.
That's
and
right.
And learn
it's
how
a
to do
video
it.
game.
Right.
It actually is a video game for them. I was listening to someone, and they were Trey. You know, he said it's like Xbox. I was like, that was like a ding, ding, ding. It was like a light bulb went off in my head when we're talking about this generation of youth that was born with an iPhone in their hand.
Absolutely.
Right? And so this is the skill set for the next generation. Forex is for the next generation because I read an article in 1986 that talked about the death of Jobs. Not Steve Jobs, but jobs. Like work is going away, and that it would be a service-based industry, right? Of course, in the advent of AI. So while robots are replacing people, okay, right? Is your job really secure, right? Can you expect to go there every single day and be secure that you're not going to get that pink slip, right? Be walking out there with all your stuff in a box. So we really need to take a look at what's going on and make sure our children have a better way forward. And Forex can provide that.
So the next thing that we've talked a little bit about the benefits of Epic Trading LLC. Absolutely. You said it wonderfully. I just wanted to share with the audience, as you talked about commitment, I remember when I first learned how to speak of another foreign language. And it was so difficult for me. You consider the fact that I was pregnant.
Okay.
I was a newlywed, and I'm sitting in this class with all these people who are not in my same situation, and I'm trying to learn this language, and I just felt so defeated. I was like, oh my goodness, when am I going to get this? Now looking back some 20 years later, I can read it, I can write it, I can understand it. So that level of commitment was taking the time, going through that struggle, going through that birthing period to get what it is that I set out to get. And I think that as we look at Forex, as we go on this journey, you have to do the same thing. There are going to be times when even now that you're going to cry, you're going to be like, I don't even know if I can do this. And then you have to come back to that ideal of, okay, I need to be gentle with myself. I need to be patient, because eventually I will master this skill.
Yes. It clicks. The 2-week syllabus, you start to realize that it's clicking. One day somebody said something and you heard it somewhere else in Epic. Another educator said it, and suddenly the light bulb goes off, and you actually see it happening on a chart. It does click. It does click after a while, and the patience it really is about the grace of it. The fact that you're even hearing about Forex right now is a mercy. Considering the times that we live in. That's how I felt about it when I received it, when I chose to take the blessing into my own hands. And a lot of times people are waiting for God to do it. Okay. And what I have come to know and help people understand is that God can only do for you what God can do through you. So here's the opportunity. Okay, and I don't even like to use that word nowadays because it's kind of so tainted, right?
Right.
But here's your choice, right? And we're all at choice. We get to make a decision that here's a door open, right? That really, for me, turn into a windows of heaven blessing.
Okay.
Right? One of them pour you out a blessing that you're going to have room enough to receive. Right? And so for everybody who's waiting on that, you don't have to wait anymore. Will it require work? Yes. Number one, we get to be good stewards of our own time, our own energy, and most important, our own mind. What thoughts are we thinking? You talked about feeling defeated, right? And you also brought up a very powerful point about it being the psychology of Forex, right? So part of not only the what the university provides is in addition to the 2-week syllabus and the Candlestick Trading Bible, is Trading in the Zone, which is like you have to actually be in a psychological zone
Okay.
to master, right, this trading experience. But you can do it. You can do it, and it doesn't matter what your background is. There's a program that I heard one of the educators talk about from ex-con to Forex. I mean, that was like, so, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If you have a good heart and you want to do better for yourself and do better for others, it's all in the package here at Forex, at Epic.
Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I definitely want to thank you for sharing your experience with us with Forex. I want the people to understand that this is by far one of the very best financial avenues that's out there. And I know the Forex buzzword is all over YouTube, and I'm sure people are saying, yeah, well, I can get this information on YouTube and I can do this and I can do that. You can. We're not saying that you can't. What we are saying that is if you want to be a profitable Forex trader, then you may want to consider, you don't have to, you may want to consider taking a look at the company that we are a part of, Epic Trading LLC, and just see if there's something that you want to do. See if it's something that you want to plant your flag. And I am completely grateful for being able to plant my flag here, because it is all about the mindset. It's all about deciding whether or not I want to change my lifestyle. You know, I'm an educator by nature, so I know all about the education world and where it's going and what it's heading. And definitely in this time, for me, being able to say, okay, I can do both. I can teach and I can trade is a beautiful, beautiful experience. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to share.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so
yes.
much. And with that, we're going to leave you with the words of peace and blessings and greetings. And I thank you for joining us here at Forex with the Bitcoin Queen.